Good. Let's see. Do you know who Hannibal is? Yeah? Hannibal. Hannibal. You should know who Hannibal is. He was very, very close to you a long time ago. But we don't mean Hannibal Lecter.
Yes.
Yeah? He's the one who liked to eat people, yeah? And tear off their skin in small, yeah? That was Hannibal Lecter. No, we don't mean him. We mean the other guy, yeah? What was famous about Hannibal? The elephant. Yeah, that's right. There you go. Elephants. Yeah. So he went from Spain to Italy to basically kill as many Italians as he could. Yeah? We have an Italian in the room, by the way, so this is a perfect example, but it's okay, we'll be nice. Okay, now here's the deal. You are salespeople and I am Hannibal. Okay? I would like each of you to write 4 questions on a piece of paper. Oh, what do you sell? You work for Sikorsky. Do you know Sikorsky? Sikorsky. They do helicopters, not Swarovski. Hannibal is not interested in jewels. Yeah? He's got lots of jewels already. But he doesn't have a helicopter. And these helicopters are pretty good stuff. So, you are salespeople for Sikorsky, okay? And you're going to try and sell me, Hannibal, a helicopter. And in order to do so, you have to write 4 questions. There needs to be a logic behind these 4 questions. Okay? Okay, so we have our scenario. My name is Hannibal, and I am here somewhere, I don't know, north of Spain. That's all you know, really. You know, you've heard something about elephants, you've heard something about Alps, Italians and stuff, and so let's go. The other very important thing about sales, before we begin, is that most salespeople plan their discussions in the same way that you have done now. Most salespeople think a little bit about some of the questions that they're going to ask, yeah? And good salespeople are very good at what we call identifying the hooks. You see these? These are called hooks. And as a fisherman uses a hook to catch a fish, a salesperson uses a hook to explore a need, a problem, or a pain. But these hooks, you need to listen out for them, because the customer is not going to say, I'm just about to throw you a hook. Yeah? But they'll say something which you need to register as a hook, and then you may pick it up or not. What's important is what you do with it. Yeah? You don't ignore it. You change your plan, whatever plan you've got, and you go with it. Okay? So let's see if we can do some of that as well. So who would like to begin?
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for volunteering. Yeah.
How long do you think it will take to get to Italy?
So, how long do I think it will take to get to Italy? I think it will take, good question, and an important question, because there are different answers. Some are good, and some are very, 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 very bad for us. Yeah? The answer is, the good side is 3 months to get the elephants from one side of the Alps to the other. Yeah? The bad side, or the bad news, could be as long as 7 months, and that would be very, very tough for us.
How many people will you need to accomplish your task?
How many people? Well, I have got a big army. We have got 100,000 infantry soldiers. They walk. Then we've got 30,000 heavily armed soldiers. They've got horses and loads of gear, and each one of those guys has got 5 slaves, yeah, and a few animals. And then we have another 100,000 slaves, cooks and stuff, and you know, and people and various different jobs, and so that's about. So we've got about 250,000 people, and we've got about 80,000 animals as well. So that's. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. How will you deal with cooler temperatures?
How will we deal with cooler temperatures? The Alps, right? It's a good question and a big problem. Personally, I can deal with any temperature because I am Hannibal. I'm pretty cool. Nothing can beat me. My people, they're pretty cool too, because I'm Hannibal and they're my slaves. So if I tell them to walk through the Alps with this much snow and they've never seen snow before, they'll do it, because if they don't, I'll kill them. Yeah? Animals, ni problema. Yeah? They'll do what I want them to do as well, because we'll whip them if they don't. But elephants are a different kettle of fish completely, a different story completely. Elephants, we have not tested them in snow yet. I mean, Sierra Nevada, but that's not really snow, right? I know a lot of the Spanish would disagree with that, but it's not real snow like you find in the Alps. So what we're worried about is one of these elephants, getting stuck in the Alps. That would be a disaster for us. A disaster. Mm-hmm.
How many appliances and food do you need to carry with you?
So, how many appliances and food do we need to carry with us? Lots. Lots. In fact, I don't really know the answer to that question. Bloody millions. Loads. Heaps. Buckets. Lots. Good. Thank you. So.
Would you like to come to your destination as fast as possible?
Would I like to get to my destination as fast as possible? Yes.
Okay. Another question?
Yep.
Would you like to see the most beautiful view from the air on Alps to your new destination? Maybe see some nature, animals from the air.
Nature and animals.
Yes, and Alps.
And Alps from the air.
Yes.
Sounds very interesting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know I'm a dictator who kills people.
Yes, but you can solve.
Oh, you're addressing my softer feminine side. Okay. Yes. I'll have to think about that. Mm-hmm.
Would you like to travel on some different things, to your destination, maybe on comfortable seats?
On comfortable seats.
On the back of the elephant,
You have a problem with the comfort of my elephants. You see, when you're a dictator, comfortable seats don't really, become important. I have 50 wives, and they're always moaning and bitching about comfortable seats and comfortable this and comfortable that. And when they do, I kill a couple of them, and that normally solves the problem. But yes, comfort. Yes.
Okay. How about speeding your sound? If you would like to sell your goods faster,
Yeah.
maybe in 1 month you can sell faster to to your destination?
Okay, let's see, selling my goods. I mean, you know, my real interest is not selling anything to the Italians, but killing them. And just you know, death, really, for all of those guys over there, as many as possible. And if you're asking the question, would I like to do that sooner? Definitely. Soon as possible, you know. Yeah. Mind you, if they go through a lot of pain as well, that's okay. You know, that's okay. It's,
Colonize the territory.
well, it's nothing personal, you understand. I have a, you know, it's just business. It's, I have to do this because, oh, okay, great. Thank you. Okay? Questions?
How far will you travel? Is the Italy final destination or your plans to
Yes.
go for?
Yeah. Final destination. I mean, you know, we've got Rome, yeah? And of course, you know, in my dreams, I dream of Rome. And, you know, I could go, if we're successful up north, then I could go down to Rome and just overtake the whole Roman Empire and be king of the world, which I already am. So final destination is, you know, northern Italy, really. There are 3 towns up there which are giving me serious problems, and I need to send them a wake-up call. And if I can do that effectively, then that's good enough for me. Yeah?
Okay. How will you manage to travel through this difficult terrain?
Well, we will, you know, there are routes that go through the Alps, so we're going to walk and going to take the army through the Alps, and our animals as well. It's a bit problematic.
Yeah. Would you like to arrive there in the shortest possible time?
Yes.
Easiest way?
And the ideal time to arrive there?
It's 3 months.
It's 3 months, but in spring. In spring. Ideal time to arrive is the end of April. Beginning of May, first 2 weeks of May. Perfect. Yeah? Very important. Very, 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 very important, the timing.
Would you be interested in a solution that would provide you to make this travel shortest possible? You could arrive in the final destination in 2 hours or 3 hours.
No thanks. No, we already have a perfect solution. It's called elephants. Have you ever seen an elephant?
Yeah.
They're amazing, huh? Incredible things. You know, big and trunks and ears, and the babies. So cute. And so we have a great solution with these elephants. But thank you very much. Okay? Good. So, what have we got here? Here we've got a categorization of the different types of questions that can be asked within a discussion like this. Yeah? At the end of this discussion, we want to come out where the customer says, okay, I know now how your product or solution would fit with one element or with my business situation. Yeah, that's the ideal outcome. And so we've got a number of different types of questions here that we could ask. We've got there's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Yeah? So what kind of questions did we have here? What did the questions do? What kind of information did they ask for? So examples were, how do you want to get from A to B? How many people do you have? How many animals do you have? What is your longer term or final destination? Yeah? So what do all of these questions do?
What's the plan? Yes.
About the plan, yeah? About the situation, about the environment, about the facts, yeah, about the what is situation on the ground, yeah. So within your environment, you'd be speaking to a customer and saying, how many times do you do translations per year? What is the frequency of translation within your environment? What languages do you need to do? What different people, what countries do you do business with? Where are the translation needs? But over and beyond that, what is your business? What do you do? What is the nature of your business? Why are you going to Italy? What's the point? What's the plan? Okay, so this is a very important stage, because this stage gives us the foundation for asking a lot more questions. But most importantly, it opens up the discussion and gives us the possibility to start looking out for some of these hooks. Yeah, and now let's look at a couple of these. Yeah, let's see. You said, what did you say where I said that's a big problem? You said, how long will it take you to get?
How many people, how many goods, and how would you deal with the cooler temperature?
There we go. How would I deal with the cooler temperature? And at some stage I said, oh yeah, that's a good question, because that's a really big problem. Do you remember that? Yeah? And this is a hook. So what do you do with this hook? What word have I just said? That's a really big... Okay, so that's the second question. When you hear anything that sounds like a problem or a concern or a query or a question mark, yeah? If the customer says, yeah, we haven't really thought about that, that's a hook. If the customer says, yeah, that's going to be difficult, that's a hook. If the customer says, well, you know, we don't have much good experience with that, that's a hook. Yeah? And what do we do with this hook? We lead from here onto here, and we ask the question that is represented here. Does that make sense? And now let's see where this goes. Ask your original question again.
How will you deal with the cooler temperature?
Oh, the cooler temperatures. That's a bit of a problem for us, because we'll be fine, but we have not tested our elephants in deep snow. So now ask the next natural question. And the question would be, why is that a problem? Well, the problem is, if our elephants can't deal with deep snow and cold temperatures, then they can't pull the things that they're meant to pull. What's the next natural question after that? What are they meant to pull? Yeah? They're meant to pull these big ladders. Big, massive ladders. What's the next natural question after that?
What do you need the ladders?
What do we need the ladders for? We need the ladders to climb up the walls, but they need to be made here, and we need to travel all the way across, because to make a ladder takes 3 months. So we need to get them all over there pre-prepared so that we can just raise them over the wall. And the elephants need to pull them because they're the only thing strong enough. Okay? Now we've got a much better idea of the situation and the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And now comes a very important question. In fact, we can call it the important question because it begins with an I. It's also called the impact question. Yeah? Or the consequence question. So the consequence question here would be, what is the consequence of not having those ladders, or of not having the elephants? And the consequence would be, we would not be able to scale the walls of the towns quickly. We would lose the element of surprise, the elephant of surprise. Mini joke there. we would lose the element of surprise, which means we would have to build our ladders, all of the Italians would see us, they'd come out and kill us, and we would not win that particular battle. Yeah? And then comes your question. So would it be good if you were able to get there in 3 hours? Of course it would. Yeah? Capability question. Okay? So we have a theory here that suggests that all of these questions are possible at any time. But there's a logic that suggests that the right question at the right time is much better for the purpose of getting the customer to see why there is a need to do something. Yeah? You asked me a question where there was a specific hook behind it. The timing. You said, when do you want to be there, right? Well, something similar. And I said, the ideal time to get there would be May. So what's the next question after that? So, I want to be there for the second week in May. That's really important. There's the hook.
Why do you want to be there in May?
Well, because in May, there's no more rain, because April showers, it rains in April, but then the rain is over and the ground gets hard. And so, the distance between here, Lago de Como, do you know Lago de Como? An amazing place. Almost as beautiful as the lake in Bled. Almost. No, okay. Lago de Como is paradise on this earth. So we want to get here and then run down to these towns which are here, here and here. And if this ground is dry, then we can run there in 2 days. They will never know what hit them. If the ground is wet, it will take us 2 weeks to cover the same distance. And yeah, so that's why it's so important. What's that question?
You already answered it.
Well, what is the consequence of not doing it? That's the question.
It will be 2 weeks.
What's the consequence of that 2 weeks? That's the question.
Prepare.
That's an assumption. Ask the question. Another way of thinking about this question is simply to say, okay, I've understood the problem. Why is the problem a problem? I understand it's a problem, but why is it a problem? So what's with the 2 weeks? Well, the 2 weeks. You cannot remain silent for 2 weeks. If we can run from here to here in 2 days, then nobody knows we are coming. We arrive at the town, all of their armies are outside somewhere. They can't get in. If we need 2 weeks, then all of their armies which are around here, they'll all go back into the towns and fortify their towns better and make our job much more difficult. We risk failing. And then the capability question, now that you know this information, could be, well, would it be good if you could put your ladder in exactly the place you need it, when you need it? Would that change your need to get there at a specific time? Okay? So, we ask a question to understand what's going on, to understand the background, the environment, the area where they're working, the situation that they're working with. We look for hooks. Yeah? We look for statements where we say to ourselves, why did they say this? Yeah? What's the background? Why did they say that? Is that a hook? Let me see. And then we begin following this line of conversation. we forget our plan, and we see where this hook will take us. Yeah? And we go and go and go and go until it takes us somewhere or not. Yeah? So, we ask what the problem is, we ask why the problem is a problem, and then we see if we can ask a capability question that is linked to the capabilities of our products. Yeah? So that when the time comes to show them our product, we can link it one for one with the business situation that they have. And at the end of the day, this is absolutely what we're trying to do with this concept. We're simply trying to say, guys, we've got a product that can do everything. It can make coffee, but you may not need coffee. So let's have a conversation to find out what you need, so that I can show you what our product can do. But I won't go blah, blah, blah. I'll show you exactly how our product will solve the specific problems that you have, because you are all different. Yeah?